Before we deconstruct the exact negotiation algorithm required to extract the massive capital from the UAE market, I have exactly 3 critical questions for you to answer in the comments below. Number 1. Are you still accepting standard corporate salary bands dictated by HR, or do you know the exact mathematical loophole to demand a 40% premium? Number 2. Are you moving to the Emirates for the lifestyle and the sun, or are you executing a calculated tax-free financial arbitrage? Number 3. Did you know the talent shortage in Abu Dhabi is currently paying a massive premium over Dubai, and that this specific extraction window is actively closing? Let me know your answers. If you are new to the channel, here is my intro. I'm Dr. HR and I approach the global labor and capital market not with emotional comforting advice, but as a structural algorithmic system. I hold a PhD in Human Resources, a Master's from prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences TISS in Mumbai, and a Bachelor's in Computer Engineering. Operating on the ground here in Dubai since 2010, consulting for Tier 1 corporate entities, sovereign wealth funds, and apex tech founders across the region, I have mapped exactly how the regional wealth is distributed. The market does not reward you for your geographical location, it rewards you for the leveraging absolute scarcity. The window to exploit Abu Dhabi's massive talent shortage is closing fast, and by late 2026, this sovereign leverage will disappear completely. You aren't just looking for a job, you are capturing a tax-free arbitrage window. I'm showing you exactly how to anchor your negotiations to secure a 40% premium before the market reaches the terminal saturation. You must stop accepting standard corporate salary bands that artificially limits your earning potential. By utilizing specific cost of living data and high-value relocation packages, you can completely bypass traditional HR constraint. Learn the exact framework to frame your specialized skills as high-scarcity asset and walk away with a life-changing pay bump today. Most people move to the Emirates for the sun, the lifestyle, and the aesthetic. But the real winner, the apex operator, move for the 40% negotiation loophole. If you aren't anchoring your salary on relocation premiums and the structural desperations of Abu Dhabi tech corridor, you are leaving a 6-figure on the table. Here is the absolute uncompromising playbook to master the tax-free arbitrage before the Great Reset. Before I completely dismantle the illusion of standard salary negotiation, expose the exact algorithm HR department used to lowball you, and give you the precise architectural blueprint to extract a 40% premium from Abu Dhabi sovereign wealth, hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell. I post daily videos showing you exactly how to navigate the global labor and capital market using cold, hard engineering logic. You do not want to miss these execution protocols. Stop accepting what you are offered. Start engineering what you are owed. Grab a notebook, it is time to execute the arbitrage. Phase 1, the Abu Dhabi arbitrage window, the scarcity hook. We must first diagnose the exact macroeconomic reality that creates this massive financial loophole. We must map the Abu Dhabi arbitrage window. For the last 15 years, Dubai has been undisputed magnet for global talent. It absorbed the bankers from London, the software engineers from Bangalore, and a digital nomad from Europe. Because the talent pool in the Dubai is now massive, the labor market has become mathematically saturated. When supply equals demand, the premium evaporates. If you apply for a senior director role in Dubai today, you are competing against 500 other equally qualified operators who are already living in the city. You have zero leverage. Abu Dhabi is operating under an entirely different set of physics. Abu Dhabi controls the vast majority of the UAE sovereign wealth fund through entities like ADIA, Mubadala, and ADQ. Under the Abu Dhabi economic vision of 2030, they are aggressively diversifying away from oil. They are building massive world-class financial centers like Abu Dhabi Global Market, ADGM, and tech incubator like Hub 71. They have infinite capital, but they have a catastrophic shortage of elite Tier 1 human operators. Because the default global mindset is moved to Dubai, Abu Dhabi is struggling to attract the apex talent required to execute these multi-billion-dollar sovereign projects. This creates a temporary, highly lucrative talent vacuum. When capital is infinite and talent is scarce, The price of the talent violently inflates. This is the arbitrage window. However, this window is not permanent. By 2026, as the infrastructure in Abu Dhabi matures and global awareness shifts, the talent pool will normalize. The massive premiums currently being paid to lure executives away from London, Singapore, or even down the highway from Dubai will mathematically disappear. You aren't just looking for a job, you are capturing a fleeting tax-free arbitrage window. You must exploit this scarcity today. Phase 2, the Contrarian financial hook, the emotionless migration. To execute this playbook, you must undergo a violent psychological shift. You must adopt the mindset of a sovereign mercenary. Most people move to the Emirates for the sun. They move for the beaches, the luxury brunches, and the Instagram aesthetic. When you move for a lifestyle, you are an emotional migrant. You are already willing to accept a lower salary because you believe that tax-free living and the sunshine are part of your compensation package. HR departments are algorithmically trained to identify emotional migrants. When they sense that you desperately want to live in UAE for lifestyle reasons, they immediately drop their salary offer by 20%. They know you will accept it. The apex operator moves for the 40% negotiation loophole. You must enter the negotiation table absolutely devoid of emotional attachment to the geography. You are not moving to Abu Dhabi because you love the desert. You are moving to Abu Dhabi because you are a structural engineer of a capital. And the Abu Dhabi Tech Corridor currently possesses the highest yield for your specific cognitive output. If you aren't anchoring your salary on relocation premiums, you are leaving massive equity on the table. You must project an aura of complete geographical independence. You must mathematically demonstrate that your current baseline in your home country or your current baseline in Dubai is already optimized, and that relocating to new sovereign node requires a massive friction premium. You are not asking for a favor, you are offering them the rarest commodity on the planet, unautomatable execution in a high scarcity market. Phase 3, bypassing the HR band, the Insider Playbook. The greatest weapon the corporation will use against you is the salary band. When you demand a 40% premium, the recruiter or the HR director will inevitably say, "We would love to offer you that amount, but our internal HR algorithm and the corporate salary bands simply do not allow us to exceed a 15% increase for this tier." This is a mathematical bluff. Stop accepting standard corporate salary bands that artificially limit your earning potential. Salary bands apply to a standard employee. Salary band apply to commodities. Salary band do not apply to high scarcity sovereign asset. We must bypass the HR constraint using the data-driven Insider Playbook. To break the band, you do not argue about your worth. You argue about the cost of extraction. You must utilize a specific cost of living data, high-value relocation matrices, and risk offset algorithm to justify the premium. When negotiating with an Abu Dhabi entity, you construct a flawless, undeniable financial model. 1. The gross to the net anchor. Amateurs let HR anchor the negotiation on their net salary. If you make $100,000 net in your home country, the HR will offer you $110,000 net in Abu Dhabi, claiming it's a 10% raise with zero taxes. You must anchor on the gross equivalent. You state, "To take home $100,000 in my current jurisdiction, my company pays a gross salary of $160,000. My market value to an enterprise is $160,000. I'm not accepting a $50,000 discount simply because your government had optimized its tax structure. The tax benefit belongs to the operator, not the corporation. My baseline negotiation starts at $160,000. 2. The Relocation Friction Premium. Moving your life, your family, and your operational baseline to a new city introduces massive systematic friction. You must quantify this friction. You state, "Relocating to Abu Dhabi requires me to exit my current optimized real estate lease, uproot my localized network, and absorb the setup cost of a new jurisdiction." The data indicates that establishing a Tier 1 executive baseline in Abu Dhabi requires an immediate capital outlay of 250,000 dirhams. To offset this systematic risk, the market demands a 20% relocation premium on top of my gross baseline. The Scarcity Multiplier. Finally, you address the Abu Dhabi vacuum directly. We are both aware of the specific talent vacuum currently existing in the ADGM Tech Corridor. You are attempting to deploy a sovereign capital and you are lacking the apex operator to execute. You cannot find my specific skill set locally. The scarcity multiplier for my specific architectural knowledge in this specific zip code is 20%. You have just mathematically justified a 40% pay bump. You did not use the word "I feel," you used the data. You framed your specialized skills as high scarcity asset. You gave the HR director the exact mathematical defense they need to take it to their CFO to break the salary band and approve your exception. Phase 4, the 40% negotiation algorithm execution protocol. We have diagnosed the scarcity window, shattered the emotional migration trap, and mapped the data-driven bypass. Now, we must execute the physical protocol. How do you behave at a negotiation table? You must deploy the 40% negotiation algorithm. Step 1. The asymmetrical silence. When the initial lowball offer is presented, you do not react. You do not get angry. You do not immediately counter. You deploy an absolute uncomfortable asymmetrical silence. You look at the number, you look at the HR director, and you remain silent for exact 10 seconds. You let the silence echo. The silence communicate that their offer is so mathematically misaligned with reality that it barely warrants a response. Step 2, the structural rejection. When you speak, you do not negotiate the increment, you reject the premise. I appreciate the initial draft, however, this matrix appeared to be calibrated for a local lateral transfer with a saturated market. It does not account for the gross equivalent anchor, the relocation friction, or the scarcity multiplier required to extract an operator of my tier into Abu Dhabi corridor. Step 3. The total compensation matrix. If they claim the base salary absolutely cannot be moved due to rigid board-level constraint, you pivot instantly to a total compensation matrix. A 40% pay bump does not have to be entirely in the monthly paycheck. You extract the value through massive untaxed allowances. If the base salary is structurally locked at $60,000 a month, it will accept it, provided we algorithmically adjust the periphery. I require a fully paid premium housing allowance deposited upfront, a comprehensive Tier 1 family medical matrix, and full tuition coverage for 2 dependents at an elite Abu Dhabi international school. Furthermore, I require a guaranteed unconditional 20% sign-on bonus to offset my immediate extraction cost. By attacking the allowances, you achieve the exact same 40% financial delta. The corporation's internal accountant can categorize allowances differently than base salary, allowing the CFO to bypass the strict HR band while still handling you a massive liquidity. Phase 5, the sovereign transition broadcasting dominance. The final phase is ensuring you never have to beg for these terms. To successfully execute the Abu Dhabi playbook, you cannot be a desperate applicant sending PDF resume into the black hole. You must possess the absolute market leverage. You must broadcast your dominance before you ever reach the negotiation table. You must deploy the sovereign architect. If you want Abu Dhabi sovereign wealth fund, a massive defense contractor, or a Tier 1 tech incubator to pay you a 40% premium, they must perceive you as an irreplaceable asset. You step into your acoustic-treated digital studio. You deploy your elite Cineline gear, your Sony FX series camera with flawless cinematic lighting. You import your raw, sanitized strategic data and execution models into DaVinci Resolve 20, utilizing its advanced node-based architecture to present the metric beautifully. You record a highly structured, unsentimental video essay deconstructing exactly how your specific operational skills generate massive, unshakable revenue or systematic efficiency. If you are an expert in Oracle SCM or Lean Six Sigma value stream mapping, you broadcast exactly how you would deploy those systems within the Abu Dhabi Vision 2030 framework. You broadcast this artifact directly to the C-suites, managing director and sovereign fund allocators in Abu Dhabi. When a CEO watches that broadcast, they do not see a standard candidate asking for a job. They see an apex structural engineer. They see a sovereign operator who understands the macroeconomic of the region better than their own HR department. When they reach out to you, you already own the table. The 40% premium is not a negotiation. It is a baseline requirement for your extraction. Look closely at the career trajectory you are currently on. Are you blindly accepting the standard 5% annual raise? Are you hoping that simply moving to a tax-free country will make you wealthy? Even if you accept a lowball offer, the 2026 market is unforgiving to the naive. The talent shortage in Abu Dhabi is a massive, gaping vulnerability in the global labor matrix, and it is waiting to be exploited. Stop moving for the sun. Move for the arbitrage. Reject the HR bands. Anchor on the cross-equivalent. Demand the relocation friction premium. Execute the sovereign transition and capture the absolute maximum yield for the Emirates before the window closes forever. Process the data, execute the strategy, and I'll see you at the top.